All right, tomorrow marks the launch of YieldMax's new ETF, SLTY. Now, this is going to kind of be the opposite of ULTY. ULTY is very popular, but it's a bullish-based covered call fund where they rotate 15 or 20 stocks that they have a bullish outlook on, and they sell covered calls. Well, actually callers, but in any event, SLTY is designed to profit from stocks maybe with poor momentum, weak fundamentals, or maybe just one where the price is too high. And maybe the traders from YieldMax thinks the price might be going down. So this fund is selling covered puts with the protective long call option on top. So they're basically doing callers. The managers at YieldMax are aiming to capture the premium on volatile and risky names. So let's run through each name really quick. We have MSTR Labs. These guys are in the semiconductor business. Recently, they've broken out to all-time new highs on strong earnings reports. And, of course, the shares are volatile, but they recently saw a bullish earnings estimate revision. They're in the AI business. Abercrombie & Fitch is the next one. Now, these guys are a retailer, and they have the brand Hollister. Recently, they had strong financials, and they've also been buying back shares like crazy, but they've had problems. Just like today, they were down 4%. Next one is Applied Digital Corporation. These guys are in the cloud business, cloud data center business. Their stock hit an all-time new high in March, and they got upgraded by analysts. They also expanded their North Dakota campus, but they've been facing regulatory scrutiny. Bloom Energy is the next one. These guys design and manufacture. They sell oxide fuel cell technology for clean energy generation. Now, this stock is moved by regulatory headlines, and green tech has been under pressure lately. Next one is BILL, BILL. These guys are in the cloud-based financial automation business. They've had strong revenue growth, but they continue to have operating losses. So we shall see how that one does. We'll see if it's a good short. The next short on the list is CrowdStrike. These guys are in the cybersecurity business, cloud-based cybersecurity business. They have earnings coming up in a week. So maybe Jay and the guys don't think these guys will have a good earnings report, or maybe they'll even sell before they even get to, or actually buy. They sold the stock today. They might buy it back before we actually get to the earnings report. Who knows? I'm going to be keeping an eye on it every day here. I'm going to follow their trades like a hawk. Next one is Enphase Energy. These guys are in the solar microinverter business. Once again, these guys are in kind of on the wrong side of the hype cycle, solar, green energy, that kind of stuff. Solar was hit by tariff talk also. It's just not, it's not what, this business is not what it used to be the past year. The next one is GitLab. GitLab is a software platform for coders, and they've aggressively rolled out some AI features, and they've also signed a deal with Amazon Web Services. But to be fair, software stocks have been hammered lately due to the auto renewal law in California. Intuit's the next one. These guys make QuickBooks and TurboTax. Now, this business is extremely cyclical, and they're on the wrong side of the tax season swing. Next one is Lululemon. Now, these guys make a high-end athletic apparel for women. I guess for men also. I don't have any Lululemon. I really like their products. I mean, the yoga pants or something. I mean, you guys know what I mean. Anyway, they've posted strong fourth quarter results and actually full year results, but they've also faced some recent problems. Next one is Marathon Digital. These guys are in the crypto mining blockchain business. Recently, the stocks tanked over high debt levels and negative cash flow. So we'll see how they do. Next one is MongoDB. These guys are in the SQL database business. They've had strong revenue growth, and they recently acquired Voyage AI for improved search and anti-hallucination technology. Next one's MicroStrategies. You guys know what MicroStrategies does. A very famous company, especially in the high-yield ETF business. They've kind of been under pressure lately, though. MicroStrategies has not been performing as well as Bitcoin itself has been. There's been some analyst skepticism over some stuff in their balance sheet. Next one is Restoration Hardware, RH. These guys are in the luxury home furnishing business, and for whatever reason, Jay and the crew thinks this could be a short, and I think this probably is a good short. I don't think luxury home furnishings are going to do well in the next few years. I think they've also been hit by tariffs. All right, so these stocks are chosen basically for their high implied volatility, but they could also have poor momentum, poor fundamentals, or just be too high of a price, overvalued in other words. So SLTY's essentially making the opposite of bet of ALTI, but SLTY is betting that these names will go down. And SLTY's also betting that they can harvest the implied volatility. That's what the covered put is for. All right, so as far as the covered puts go, they're using a covered put with protection. So it's basically like a collar. A covered put is when you short stock and you short an out of the money put option. So that part is the opposite of a covered call. But then in addition, there's a third leg, and they buy an out of the money call option. That just caps the max loss on the short stock. When you're long stock, you have some solace in the fact that a stock can only go to zero. When you're short stock, a stock can go up to infinity. So a lot of traders, when they do a covered put, they basically do a collar, which is the same thing ALTI's doing, just going the other direction. These guys know what they're doing. They're professional traders. I can't wait to see how this works out. Let's look at these trades really quick. Okay, A-Lab, on that Astera Lab, they have 1,300 shares. And they sold the 160 put, but they bought the 187.5 put. So the max exposure they have is the difference between the two strikes times 13 times 100. On Abercrombie and Fitch, they sold the stock short, and then they sold the 87, the slightly out of the money put, and they bought the 100 strike call just to cap their max upside exposure. And that's the same thing they did on all of these stocks. They did the same position, shorted the stocks and did an out of the money, sold an out of the money put, and then bought an out of the money call. Now the one I wanted to kind of drill down on is MicroStrategies. So in MicroStrategies, we're going to look here. It looks like they have 700 shares of stock, short stock. So they sold 700 shares of MicroStrategies. And then they have on the 325, 375 collar. Let's just call it a reverse collar. So let's go up here to MicroStrategies and take a look at this. They don't even have a covered put here in option strat. I don't believe. Maybe they do. I don't think I've ever seen it. But we can do that. We'll just do a covered call and just reverse it. Easy peasy. You guys are doing this at home. You just do it. You put MicroStrategies in on the covered call. But then up here where it says, okay, where it says long 100 shares, you just click on it and you put a negative right there. So there we have it. Short 100 shares, and then they're using the 325 put. So we'll switch that to a put. So it's the same thing. That's the same thing as a covered call. They want the stock to go down. They make money if MicroStrategies drops to a certain point, and then they're capped out. Just the reverse. But these guys, for protection, they're using protection. Always use protection. Always a short thing to use, a good thing to use protection. They're using the 375. And also these expire the 29th. So that's the position they have on right there. They're short. And they had, what was it, 700 shares? Let's go look. We'll just save it. We'll follow this trade of theirs. Yeah, 700 shares. 700 shares means you can short 7 puts to be fully covered. And then you have to buy 7 calls. Options are priced in units of 100. Okay, perfect. That's their position. We'll follow along with them. If you guys like this kind of content, tune into this time every night. I'm going to be following their positions. Not only that, I'll also We'll also figure out how much their dividend's going to be. We'll see how their trades do as time goes by, and we'll keep track of the premium they're able to capture. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight, guys. You guys have a wonderful day.